Can we please bring in Chris Tymofichuk? You'd have to be living under a rock to not know what this guy's doing. Longtime CFL guy here, Chris, so you're all over my timeline attempting to set a Guinness World Record for the shortest amount of time to watch 9 CFL games. Am I right? Have I got that right? And how's it going?
That's right, Rod. And thanks for having me on the show. The only reason this has gotten as big as it has is because of guys like you and media really grabbing this story and rolling with it. When I started this out, this was just meant to be a fun thing to beat Bobby Dubois' record, traveling across the country, seeing the different stadiums, meeting fans, and of course, Canadian football. But it's really morphed into something much bigger than that. And that's really raising money to beat children's cancer.
Well, you've been to which CFL stadiums already?
So on this tour, we just finished Game 6. So we started in Winnipeg, zipped to Vancouver, Edmonton, and then we went to Regina, zipped across to Hamilton, and then Sunday zipped back to Calgary, and hopefully catching up on some sleep for a few days before we finish in the East with Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto.
And I just read this story this morning, thank you to the Winnipeg Sun for the great job they did, that you're only going to beat this record by literally a few hours?
It's even less than a few hours. It's down to 90 minutes. And the only reason there's a little gap is Bobby started his record in the East time zone. I started doing it in Winnipeg in the Central time zone. So I'm hoping for a final good game between Winnipeg and Toronto Saturday night, but no overtime, please.
Well, I hope, oh my God, so the fans got to be watching for you. Have you been on the TSN broadcast yet? And if not, I hope they're going to get you on.
Yeah, TSN's done a wonderful job picking up on it. It's sort of, people are following along, playing a Where's Waldo, Where's Chris at each game. And really, we want this not to be about one person. We want this to be a collective effort by all the Canadian football fans across the league and just to have fun with it. And they've been really generous and fantastic so far.
Wow, there's so many wonderful things about the CFL, but I think one of the things is it's an intimate league. And when they get behind a cause, everybody gets behind the cause. But as I said, I mean, this came on my radar because you don't have to, what should I say, cause a few wrinkles turns into waves in the CFL if it's a positive story like yours. And again, Bobby Dubois was the guy who had the record? Bobby Dubois, am I saying that right?
Yeah, you got his name right. He's a BC Lions fan, lives out in Vancouver, and he has been fantastic in support. He'll always be the first. He'll be the one that sort of created the record. And if I beat him, then great. If we get the record, there's going to be other fans that try to beat it in the future and in future years. And that's okay, too. We just want the legacy of really what the cause has become on this to carry on in the future.
But the quote I saw from him, I don't know the guy, but I laughed. He goes, Chris at least has put it towards a good cause. He goes, I was just an idiot trying to set a record, which I think is hilarious. So why did you pick CFL Fans Fight Cancer as the benefactor of this? I'm assuming you have a connection to it?
Absolutely. So I've been fortunate enough, like you, Rod, to see many great cups. This will be my 28th in Vancouver this year. And the CFL Fans Fight Cancer is just a grassroots effort by CFL fans. There's no corporate sponsorship. The CFL sort of does their own thing. But these are the fans that come together. And depending on the host city, a group in that city decides which charity they're going to choose. And each year, it's just fans donating and doing barbecues and trivia concerts and raising money any way they can. And it's a small drop in the proverbial bucket, but it really gives fans and people something that they can feel a part of.
Well, and that's why I say on this show, for 2 hours, we try to make people feel good and do good things because there's so much ugly stuff out there. And there was a lot of information in that Winnipeg Sun article about CFL Fans Fight Cancer raising $100,000 over the years through, as you said, grassroots efforts. I was morbid curiosity here. Saw on your Twitter byline it said ex Blue Bomber and Jets fan. I thought that was funny because I thought once a Winnipegger, always a Winnipegger. What? You're not anymore? Not fans of those teams? What?
No, I'm still a fan of both teams. I mean, I would be wearing blue and gold if I wasn't team neutral for this journey. I think the X is more, I left Winnipeg, moved to Ottawa after university, and I was an ex-payer at that point. And when Twitter was starting out, coming up with handles, that's what it was. And it kind of just stuck through the years.
Okay, makes sense. Well, the name Tymofichuk is as Winnipeg as it gets. Am I saying that right, by the way?
You have got it right. And I have to say, it's probably the second most popular question that people come up to me and ask after, where can I donate? But we've had fun with it, and most people seem to pick it up pretty easy. You've got it 100%.
Well, born and raised on the prairies, I know my way around the Ukrainian. Well, that would be number one. Before we get to how can they donate or where, I've been part of fundraising efforts too and causes, and people want to come up and share their story. I got to think you've had a few stories shared with you out of the blue on this tour. Give me an example of one.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I could spend 2 hours on your show talking about how many people have come up with personal stories. There's a few that stuck with me. In BC, a lady came up. She put money in the bucket, and she said, "I'm going for surgery on Friday. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it." And you kind of take a step back and you realize what's important, right? The record would be great, but how people are pulling money out at these times, tough economic times, not many people carry cash, and the people have just been stuffing the bucket, as I put it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful thing to see. In addition, I've received random messages from people who have reached out saying, "I'm a 3-time cancer survivor. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for bringing awareness." And I think everybody's been touched by cancer, whether it's directly through friends or family. We all deal with it. And we're just trying to do a small effort that hopefully makes life better for the kids and others with cancer.
Sure. I mean, I've been touched by it, but what I also know because of that, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I know how important it is to talk about it. Shouldn't be a secret. And like you say, you got it right. You're not, you almost feel bad that your name's on this, which you shouldn't, Chris, because you're working your ass off to get this done. So I'm still saying kudos to you for doing it. But where can people donate? I got to think it's not just the bucket at the games. Is there an online place they can go, or what would be the best way to do that?
There is. And I like to say I'm just the guy that holds a bucket. That's all I am. The legacy of this is going to carry on long beyond next weekend when I'm finished. But they can donate at childhoodcancerresearch.org. They can go there. There's a link that will show the CFL Fans Fighting Cancer fundraising. And to date, we had very low expectations. Last year, the Hamilton group raised $40,000. The Vancouver team said they're going to beat that number. And right now, we're up to $15,000 already. And that doesn't include the cash donations yet, as that'll be added to the kitty, if you will, once the final game is over. So we should be halfway to our goal for sure by the end of this weekend.
Awesome. What do you do for a living, Chris?
Well, luckily right now I'm temporarily retired, which has allowed me to take this time and travel without work getting in the way. We'll figure out after the trip if I want to get back into that workforce. A little break from work has been really, really good, and I'll see if I can find a way to extend it for as long as I can.
You're a professional CFL fan and fundraiser. How's that sound? Put that in your Twitter bio. That's not a bad job to have.
If there's an opportunity to continue this, Randy Ambrosi, hey, I'm all ears. Get in touch with me. We'll figure something out that works for both of us.
Right. And hey, going to be a world Guinness Book record holder as well. Thanks for what you're doing, Chris. Thanks for coming on today. Good luck finishing it off.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Chris Tymofichuk joining us as he attempts to set a Guinness World Record for the most CFL games attended in the shortest span in all 9 cities. Love it.